statement, written intent, whatever, but the guys, what we expect as far as signing, we got 21 in, it's kind of what we thought from the last couple of days. 9 on offense, 12 on defense, so a little balance across the board. Big guys, skilled guys, mid-skilled guys, so I don't think by any means, and that's not maybe by design, just the way it played out. I don't think it's top-heavy or slanted towards one side or the other. Again, 9 on offense, 12 on D. We got 4 big guys up front, 3 receivers, a running back, quarterback. Don't have a tight end in the mix, but we have 5 already here. So that wasn't necessarily a priority. Didn't really look at one late. Defensively, ended up with 12, 4 up front as D-line players. We'll be playing a 4-man scheme. And see a couple of those guys as tackle and a couple as ends, but you never know how guys are going to mature, fill out, etc. But 4 D linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 in the back end. A lot of the in-state guys stayed with us. We're committed. We tried hard. Actually reached out to a lot of the in-state kids that were committed to other places to see if they have interest. We think as a state institution we can provide a great education. We think with the energy and the commitment we got to the football program, we can provide and also an athletic opportunity. So we did reach out to a lot of kids that were committed elsewhere with the change. Some of those guys didn't want to go. We're trying to build relationship with the coaches in state. Like for the in-state kids and those coaches to give us a good chance in this season and the years to come to actively recruit those guys. So we're going to work hard in state. That doesn't mean we're going to take every guy. It doesn't mean we're going to like every guy. But we really challenge our in-state players and coaches to give the state school a chance to get them down here and show what we got in Indiana, because we think it's a great place. And I do think the state school can provide some opportunities that no other institution can, no matter what state you live in. So we're going to sell that hard to those in-state guys. But we did reach out to some guys, didn't really go anywhere. Felt a little bit like we showed up at the dance when they were playing the last song, and a lot of the dates were already taken, so we didn't get a lot of guys to dance with us. But I think our guys had some good ties, got into some guys, and I think we identified some guys that we liked. I don't know if we got some guys late that are what I'd call finished, polished products, but they're a nice piece of clay. They've got the skill level, the frame, the size. They appear to be all character, quality kids, liking the students. Think they fit the mold and brand of our school. But at the same time, some guys that were basketball players, first year playing football, transferring from this school to that school and maybe under the radar. I think our coaches did a great job, and I appreciate and thank them for what they did, because they've worked it hard. The last couple of weeks have been pretty hectic, and I think they did a great job of getting on some quality kids, getting some kids in, and we were able to land a few guys late. So 21 total. We technically could go a couple more if we want to. In the Big Ten, you can what's called oversign. I think there's a misused word in this region where everybody will say the word gray shirt. And red shirts when you don't play, and some people use the word gray shirt, which I've never really been a part of gray shirting a player in a program. Gray shirting means you start in the spring. In the Big Ten, you're allowed technically to what's called oversign by a couple spaces. That means if no one leaves your program, or medically injured, or academically ineligible, or whatever, well then technically they would come mid-year. But each year as you go through, guys jump in the league, going pros, guys transferring, injuries that become medical, and a guy puts on a medical scholarship, typically there are spaces that open up. So every Big Ten school can technically go over a couple. We actually have a couple in our back pocket. We're not in any hurry to distribute those to anyone. Right now it's recruiting's a little bit like investing. We don't need to make a poor investment. And so if the market and the prices aren't good, Granny used to bury her money in the backyard, so we can just throw it in the coffee can. We'll use it next year and make a better investment. If we can find something late, we will. But don't think some last-minute recruit that it doesn't meet the profile or has issues is going to be the answer in recruiting. So good class, solid class. Appreciate the way the thing came together, what the job the coaches did. Maybe we'll add here late, but there's no panic or don't see anything imminent here in the days and weeks to come. So we'll see how things play out. With that, do you think I should quickly, Jeff, hit each guy a little bit, or go to questions? All right, here we go. Offensive line, we got 4 guys. Peyton Eckert's a big young man out of Chicago, plays offensive guard. Big rat, about 6'6", 300, good feet. Had several offers and visits late that we got in on late. Excited to have him in here. He's got the frame to play outside, but has played more as an inside. He's actually interested in being a center, but we'll see if he's a center guard. Going to start him with the inside spots. Although he is a 6'6" man. Ralston Evans is already in school, started mid-year from up in Indianapolis, and is actually short-term doing very well in transitioning. It looks very, when we're out there in the workouts, he blends in, looks like one of the guys, and has gotten off academically well with his classwork. David Kaminsky is a young man we got on late with Packard, with Eckert, with Peyton Eckert. David's out of Strongsville, Ohio. Really nice-looking kid, broad-shouldered, good frame, very, very good-looking kid. Injured a knee last spring. Did not go through any spring. Was injured got an ACL playing basketball. An athletic big kid. Was about 220 a couple years ago. Thrown into a 275. Going to be a 300-pound athletic. Looks like a center guard type player. He a little bit under-recruited because of the knee injury. Came back and started playing the fourth game. We had him checked out with our medical staff. It's clear, great-looking knee, good-looking body. A little bit under-recruited due to an injury and with so many commitments. So he was out there late, liking. But we'll see where he is. I'm kind of excited about him. We'll see if he pans out. Greg Lewis, a big young man out of Miami. Bounced around 4 different high schools in 4 years. Mom has kind of moved him from places to get him in a better environment. He's right now at Catholic school, Chaminade Madonna, which is a very good program in South Fort Lauderdale. He's a very big, athletic, 6'5", 300-pounder. So 4 big guys up front. Wide receiver, 2 guys that committed early. Cody Latimer, really like athletic, big kid out of Dayton, Ohio, 6'3", 205. Probably one of the more physically impressive bodies and athletes in class. Very intrigued and excited to work with him. He probably has flexibility to play many spots, offensively or defensively. Just a great-looking athlete. I think he was MVP last year at the state basketball tournament when they won the state championship at Jefferson over in Dayton. Jay McCants, another basketball kid, tall, 6'4", Princeton, Ohio, Cincinnati area. Athletic, good ball skills, long, rangy. Those 2 guys fit the profile of some of our previous receivers, which I actually think were a little tall and long. We looked late for some quickness and a little bit more change of direction instead of the strider type kid. And that being said, we were able to get on late a kid out of Ohio, Shane Wynn, who is a very dynamic, smaller guy, great returner, great in space, not overly, but now does have some substance for a smaller guy. Big hands, big bones, strong kid, but a 5'7" guy, but great change of direction, big-time playmaker out of a great program. And we were very excited to get him, and actually thought he brought something that we needed. A little more quickness and one of those little guys in the slot to give us some juice. Running back, we got D'Angelo Roberts in town. He's been with us for quite a while. You guys know him well. You know, plays in space and a lot of stats the last couple of years. Heck of a high school player in state. Good program. Pleased to have him as a local guy, as is Trey Roberson, quarterback, who I think spins the ball athletically. You guys will say he's an athlete, but he acts like a quarterback, he talks like a quarterback, seems to have natural leadership skills. I know he can run well, but I think he throws the ball very well, and excited about his future as a Q. Defensively, 4 guys up front. We've got AJ and Darius Rayner starting as a DN, kid out of Tampa, Florida. We had some coaches that had ties to that area and got in on him and excited about him. Does have the frame to grow into a bigger position, but we'll look at him as a DN. As we will with Jake Reed from Columbus North. Jake's very physical, very solid, excellent player. We need help, we think, at the defensive end position. Those 2 guys will start there. Very pleased with Jake, and getting in on Darius Rayner late was, I think, a positive deal for us. Bobby Richardson, Tampa Plant, getting transferred from Tampa Tech to Tampa Plant. So 1 year in a great program. Little on the radar, big bone, 6'3", 275, athletic, big body to go with Bernard Taylor, who we thought was one of the best big guys in the class. So 2 inside guys, 2 outside guys. Really pleased with Bernard and stumbling into Bobby. We got some decent inside players, but those guys are going to be juniors with Pogel and Slager and all those guys getting to the end. So we need to get the next core guys and like those guys and the 2 DNs. 3 backers, Michael Pogel, Kyle Kennedy from In-State, from Cathedral. Can't be a Mike or a Sam guy outside in our 4-3 scheme. Same with Michael Plogel, third Plogel to play here. Tough kid from Centerville. Very natural as a backer. Pleased to have him. And the way that his brothers has played, I'm sure his pedigree will give him a chance to be another solid IU player for us. And the last one, Zach Shaw, probably the most athletic of those guys, gets a little more notoriety. But all three of those guys are rock solid. We need all three, and pleased to have Zach. And Zach's one of the more publicized guys, but sometimes recruiting gets blown up. Guys make to be better than they are. These other two are pretty good too. So we like all three of them. And then in the secondary at corner, we got Kenny Mullen, in-state from Lourdes, another great program. Thought we got some kids from not only good players, but out of good programs. I don't think that's by design. It just happened. Those good programs do have good players. So kind of happy to have Kenny with us, a smaller guy, but a very strong guy. Got some substance, got some strength, very quick, great basketball player, good change of direction, can jump, plays big, great returner, corner guy. We need help in the secondary. Excited to have him. We found late Michael Hunter, basketball player, transferred from a small school to one of the better programs in Louisiana. West Monroe, I think they got beaten state championship down there. Personally, I and several coaches had been to that school, know it. His dad's a basketball coach, coach's kid, great student, but just a lot of range and athleticism. Basketball kid learning how to be a corner, but got a chance maybe to be a really, really good player. Nick Stoner, another local guy, Center Grove, heck of a program, very fast, probably the state 100-meter champ in Indiana. Speed to play corner, but maybe the frame, if he grows in a year and a half down the road, he's very physical enough to be a safety. We'll see how it plays. We do need help at the corner spot, though, so we'll start Nicholas there and see how that thing plays out. And the last two guys in the back end, we got Mark Murphy, Akron, a big bone safety, running back. Dad was a great player, but he, like Jake Reed, one of the more physically natural, soundest, physical, tough, hard-nosed, good player. And excited to have him as a safety. And I always miss one. Who did I miss this time? Flo Hart, whose brother Drew plays here. Flo's out of Louisville. He'll be a safety, kind of one of those hybrid big safety, maybe nickel backer type. So 5 guys in the back end, 3 backers, 4 guys up front, 12 on the D. Good guys. Some guys I think have a little bit more athleticism potential. Excited to work with that. Some other guys are great players. A blend of Indiana, a blend of the Midwest. A couple guys we got on late. So with that, we'll open up to some questions.